Meow! Hupple's cat, the armchair prepper. This book. So this is no surprise to anybody that's been in combat. Snipers tend not to try and kill. They try to mortally wound their victims, and then they wait and they mortally wound everybody that comes to try and help them. Only once people stop coming to help, then they just finish off the job. So that's something you need to be aware of. There's lots of videos online about how to deal with snipers, but the fact is, if you do have a sniper, there will be one or two people in your compound lying there gut shot or leg shot, screaming in agony. And if you approach them, you're going to be lying down next to them as well. Of course, in the movies you rush under fire, no, mysteriously don't get shot, or you just get grazed, and then you save them and drag them off. Dragging people to help can only be done when there's no fire situation occurring. He talks quite a bit about knife fighting, because a lot of that happened. He said if somebody pulls a knife on you, shoot them. If you got a gun, just kill them. Don't talk, don't negotiate, don't try and run off. If they pull a knife, just kill them. He talks about if you are going to get involved in a knife fight, you're going to get cut, you're going to get hurt, and you need to know that going into it, and that's definitely true. And you need to try and minimise where you're being cut so you don't lose the ability to use your hand grip. That's something that's very important. Blocking motions for knives are a great idea, but if you get severed here by a sharp knife, you're going to die. Now, the dude's a nurse. He says, remember, even a small cut in SHTF can kill you. You can get septic shock and die. He doesn't say why. But that's what the problem is. That's why you should have pet antibiotics. You should be able to clean wounds out properly and deeply. You should have sterile dressings available long after there's no packets available in the hospitals, because there's no hospitals and all the packets have been used. This is his advice, and I think it's good advice to actually get ready for SHTF now. Realistic training. Maybe going camping for 10 days using a trash bag, like a tent, with 10 small cans of food and 10 litres of water. And then walking every day during that 10 days for 10 kilometres. But on the 11th day, run a few kilometres and then shoot and see how accurate you are with your body wasting away. And still, the most important thing will be missing from this training. While you're shooting at beer bottles and targets, they're not shooting back at you trying to kill you. They're not shooting from the side, they're not shooting behind you. You're not under fire. Bullets go both ways. I keep telling people that. I've seen it numerous times. If you get involved in a firefight, expect to lose people, expect to get seriously wounded yourself. Try to avoid firefights. Killing people using weaponry, great. Firefights, avoid it. So he says in SHTF most gunfights are just people spraying bullets randomly, and that's absolutely true. He also says that a real gunfight is a dynamic thing. It will have pauses, it will have moments where it picks up again. He says the most important training we can do as preppers is to get used to suffering whilst moving forward to an objective and doing a goal. And I think that's true to a large degree. A lot of people use their ferro rods a lot online, but not many of them use them after coming out of a river that's cold. They don't use them in very windy conditions. So try to test your preps as hard as you can, but testing your preps actually means testing you. So he talks a little bit about grey man without naming grey man. If the level of violence rises around you, you want to still blend in. Do not stick out as weak, but not also stick out as extra tough. Now a lot of people portray that. Don't mess with me, I've got the plates and I got the rest of it. He says that those types of people were actually took out really quickly. What you need to do is look a little bit tougher than average, but not too much. Not worth messing with, but not a major threat. So he talks about how a normal family guy became really psychotic and really violent, was really known as a good killer, strong killer. During a normal trade with a 20-year-old woman, she actually pulled out a knife and killed him. And he feels it was possibly because of his reputation. The other thing is that he says that if you see trouble ahead, cross the street, go back, hide. Don't confront things openly. This goes to the patrolling my border philosophy a lot of prepper groups have. Openly wearing full fake army uniforms, carrying automatic weaponry, having the mics on, patrolling your bug out location's border might be an attractive thing if you can call on air support and reinforcements and be airlifted out to a green zone. In SHTF, what you're doing is you're telling everybody around you, those guys are a threat. And they'll act on it. They'll take you out one by one. pouncing around, looking like you're a G.I. Joe, is not the way to approach a societal collapse. Not surprisingly, he talks a lot about PTSD, he talks about the effects of the transition back to normalcy once the United Nations enforced the end of the civil war in Yugoslavia. And this is kind of a key thing right towards the end of the book. And I think we should all bear this in mind. I see in many survival farms communities that people talk about freeze-dried blueberry muffins for breakfast. They're big generators on what to do to keep life normal in survival situations. So you can tell the book's a little repetitive, but I didn't find it so, because I agree with it. I think this is just half of prepping, and people miss out on the other half. Get comfortable with change, and to live worse. Totally important. Without hope. Keep hope within you that you'll survive and make do and you'll find something good and all the rest of it, because life without hope is hopeless. But false hope, they'll come in and fix this. Somebody will stop them from doing this. That ain't going to work. Now, I did as a joke tell people that I was actually going to do a video about me pooping out in the woods, and actually I'm going to. And I think it's a skill that if you has anybody out there not defecated in a woodland scenario where you walk in, there's nothing there? I'm not talking about an outhouse. If you haven't, you need to practice that skill. It's a skill. It's difficult to squat when you're not used to it. It's easy not to clean yourself properly. You have to have good hygiene. You need to be able to bury it properly. You need to take in fact water. Insects will bite you in the summer. So this is what Selco says about that. Get comfortable doing your toilet things out there if you have the chance. And do this responsibly with digging a hole and covering up. Learn simple things like living like humans had to for many thousands of years. Good advice. So A+, it's not a manual on how to deal with SHTF. It's more about the psychology and the effects of it and how to actually adapt by doing whatever it takes. So I'm going to finish off with this long quote. That does not mean that you do not need to prepare yourself for every possible scenario. It actually means that when S hit the fan, you're not going to be in control of many things. People will die, so you have to be comfortable with this kind of massive change. You can only take care as good as possible about a small circle of problems around you and your family. Everything outside that circle depends on other things, bigger things. But inside that small circle, you need to do everything that you can to be prepared. Also prepare to get hurt, get comfortable with change and experiencing pain. Definite A+, really enjoyed this. Thought it was pretty good. What do you guys think? Are we ready for this in prepping in North America? I think people that have served in or experienced SHTF conditions like he talks about are going to really identify with this book. I know I did. I never really identified with his blog postings that much, but yeah, I like this book. Get it, read it, think about it. If you have a bug out group, buy one copy, send it around. Make people take notes about what they thought the most important thing in the book was, and have a group discussion. This type of scenario building based upon actual lived experience is absolutely critical. Anyway, I guess I'm going to have to put up a parental warning for this one. Anyway, toodles.